Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Just gonna settle down here. I was trying to find a good lighting in this space. Um, it's summer here in Edinburgh, so wherever you are, tell me where you're coming from, where you're saying hi from. If you're joining me live or joining me after or watching this after, whatever it is. So I was thinking of what to share today because there are several things I want to share, and it is really a bane of my existence sometimes to really kind of just reel myself back in because I always tend to really go all in when I want to. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit today as well, about going all in. And you tend to hear that a lot in recovery groups and all of that. So I'm gonna just share a little bit about my story today because there are so many new ones, new faces here, and I don't think I ever did really share completely my own recovery journey. But I intend to share this mainly because I feel like that would help you. And my intention is not to make you feel any worse or feel like you're not doing it right or inadequately. My intention is really to show you that you could absolutely recover, and full recovery is absolutely possible. And in fact, it doesn't have to take as long as you think you would if you get the right mentorship, the right support, okay? So, my journey, we will have to go back about 10 years ago when I really was in a place where I really thought that, um, I wasn't really taking good care of myself. I remember um, the first year of my university, I was really just going out, having fun, partying, eating the worst food ever you could ever think of, pizza at 3 a.m. after alcohol and all of that. And on an average day, because at that time I thought that it would keep me thin. I don't even know where that thinking came from, but I literally was snacking all day on Jaffa cakes because I was looking at the calorie counter, the label, and thinking, okay, well, this will keep me in check because I could eat this because I want to, and I know that it's gonna just cost me like maybe 400 calories per day. And then on top of that, it was just like I had this obsession with Special K. And it was just every single day, just eating that and that. And then maybe going out and then just going after that, after the alcohol, to just like really greasy spoons places. So that was my lifestyle in the first year of university. Um, I really had a lot of fun. I think I wasn't in a hate space where I was thinking, oh my gosh, like I need to change my lifestyle, I need to change my diet because it's not good for me. In fact, I honestly thought that was the way to go. I always felt like growing up, we were so conditioned to think that, we need to just take care of our calories, then we'll be fine and all of that. But really, it is such a terrible way to live. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think it's just not the way we were meant to live. That is not the way we should be even thinking about food. And this is something that I teach in A Space to Be Free, my program for disordered eating recovery. And it's not about how much calorie you put into your body. It's not about how you get well when you restore your weight. It's nothing, because I've seen so many women come to me saying, I've been to my nutritionist, a dietitian, and all of that, and you've got these weigh-ins and all of that, but at the end of the day, you're still here, you're still talking to me, telling me that you're not healed and you want to get out of this cycle for good. Why? Because there is a disconnection. There's a disconnection between our body, our mind, and our soul. Our body, I always say this, like our soul is constantly talking to our body, and our body is meant to talk to the mind, and the mind is meant to listen to the body and serve the soul. But what we have been conditioned to do and completely forgotten and disconnected from ourselves is to totally just disregard our intuition, to disregard what our body needs, and think that the external sources and the outer powers have more knowledge than we do about our own bodies, which is ridiculous. And then our mind resorts to a space where it thinks that, oh my gosh, I have to fix everything, I have to deal with this, I have to deal with keeping her alive, I need to deal with making sure her body is working, and all of these things. And the subsequent consequence is that your mind starts to box you in. Your mind starts to find all these little coping mechanisms, these floating logs on the river that you're drifting down, and trying to save you and trying to keep you safe. And so you're terrified when you feel like, okay, this is not doing me good, but what do I do now? Because this is keeping me here, keeping me safe, but I want to get well. But I'm scared. I'm scared of reaching out anymore because this keeps me safe. This keeps me afloat. But I'm here to tell you that keeping afloat is not enough. That's not the way to live. That's really not the way to live. And this is coming from a girl who literally spent 10 years of her life deeply, deeply, deeply drowning in anorexia, drowning after that in various types of eating disorders, thinking that I could never stop eating because once I started eating, I was just feeling this bottomless hunger. And then to the point where I was orthorexic, and then to the point where I was like so done because I finally realized that I want to live. I really, really want to live, and I don't want to live like this. It was a real wake up call. So anyway, moving back to the story, in my second year, I remember I joined a club, and I became their scriptwriter for their one of their theater productions, for a very important night. It was held annually, and it's a big, big thing. People from all the other parts of the UK would come and watch it and attend and experience it. And during this time, I think that was the beginning of it. I had a total switch up of my lifestyle at that point. I stopped drinking and I moved into a flat and shared the flat with two other girls who were really like, their bodies to me at the time was like slim and beautiful, and they were super talented in dancing, and they were just like my ideal, and I never really felt very adequate next to them, to be honest. And yeah, and then I think that was the real trigger that made me pull the trigger, I guess, because that was when I started to feel like I need to take care of myself, quote unquote, because that to me at the time meant, working out, exercising, and eating less. And it's incredible how we have been socially conditioned to think that eating less is a good thing. Like eating less makes you a good girl, makes you somebody with discipline, somebody with like you're really good if you do that kind of thing. You get that, and you the worst thing is that you get reinforced by external voices that tell you that you're doing the right thing when you're eating less and less and less, or like not eating at all. So I really want to say this because it's so important, the journey that you take on your recovery, to not just really restore your weight or learn to intuitively eat, but really to stand in your ground. And this is what I stand for. This is really, really what I stand for. I stand for women who are treated fairly, who know that they can domineer instead of dominate. You do not need to work in a masculine way to feel happy. I stand for women who want to be connected with their bodies and their souls and their minds. I stand for women who are compassionate, and compassionate especially with themselves, because loving yourself means being able to love others, even though they are very difficult to love. And this is something that we will learn if you are really fully committed to your recovery and you work with me and we go through all those phases where we look into what exactly it is that you need to address, and you come out of it loving yourself despite all of that. And in fact, because of that, because you see at the end of it, or even during the experience, like women who work with me, like during the experience of working with me already, they can see like 3 sessions in, they could already see that this is such a gift, because this allows you to be in touch with something inside of you and outside of you that so many people don't even see. It's the compassion, it's the love, it's the bigger things that you stand for, and the preciousness of life. And most of all, you learn that every single day is a new day. And so we are not set. We're not robots. We don't work by a schedule or a timetable or a calorie counter telling you every single day to eat whatever you need to eat, because we are changing every single day. And so we are evolving. And that's the beauty of being a human being. You know, that is something that you need to really embrace. And if you feel that that is something that's calling out to you, get on a call with me. Let's talk about it. It's totally free. It's me just really addressing what you need to change. And then if you decide to work with me, then we can always look into that. You know, you can absolutely talk about applying for the program. And this is something I really want to talk about, because when I finally succumbed to an eating disorder, I really thought I was alone, and I kept myself alone for the longest time. And for the longest time, I even actually thought that it's good that I'm alone. It's actually good that I'm alone. But really, human beings, oh my gosh, like now that I have such a strong sisterhood, and now that I'm married to a man that I love, and he loves me just as I am, and he loves the parts that I don't even see as attractive. You know, that is everything that I've dreamt of. And I see this possible for every single person, because I have absolutely been in a rock bottom where I was trying to change myself and dial into other people to please them. You know, I dial into their desires and change myself to be with them. And at that point, I always thought that, you know, the minute I change my body, the minute I shrink myself, is when I can really please them. And here's the correlation I want you to see, and I'm going to point out, is that shrinking myself was a real symbolic initiation, because shrinking myself metaphorically meant also just shutting myself out, not saying what I wanted, not telling people what I wanted, what I stand for, not voicing out what my desires are, and thinking that other people know better than I do. Okay, so that is what I was going through. That was what I was going through for so many years. Well, I guess the first time I got help was not even what I wanted. It was a time when my mom saw me at my lowest point, my lowest weight. I just got back from Paris, and when I was in Paris for 3 months, I was literally walking by foot. I wasn't eating. I had one meal a day. I was exercising for 3 hours, and by the time I got home, I sprained my ankle. I was literally like just beyond, like I don't even remember feeling. I think I was just so numb. And when my mom broke down for the first time ever in my life in tears, telling me that I need to look for help and please see a doctor for her sake, I did it. But I still remember distinctly thinking at the time that I didn't need that. Like I was like, I don't see what's wrong with me. I don't see myself as thin. I still think that I had a lot of work to do. I need to lose more weight, all of those things. But I was really at a very low weight, and it wasn't pretty, because I was instantly, when I saw the nutritionist, I was hooked up to IV drips. I was asked to return every week to do that. I was told that my body was the constitution of a 65-year-old woman when I was actually in my 20s. I lost my period. I lost my period for many years, in fact. And to think that my thinking was that it was a good thing is just so screwed up, because that was exactly what I was seeing and hearing externally, you know. And now that I have these things back, I've got my period back, I've got, you know, a really, like, I eat whatever I want to eat. I feel so in touch with my feminine side, which I never had. And I thought growing up, I thought that it was a bad thing to be feminine. I thought it was a bad thing to be emotional. Like they would say that, oh, you're so emotional. Like you feel so much. Like, why are you being so sensitive? All these things. I want to tell you that they are all legitimate and there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that is your superpower. That is what I teach in my program. That is your gift. That's your superpower. And I know these things may sound very uncomfortable with you, but you are a sovereign being, and when you own your feminine side, you will unearth so many beautiful superpowers that you have never dreamt of, and you will stand still in your own center without wavering forces. Any forces externally coming to hit you, you can move past it dexterously. That is the key. That is the goal here when you work with me, okay? So yes, so I went through 10 years of those sort of things, cycling back and forth, trying to get well, trying to recover, and every moment I do that, I feel horribly guilty for eating. But I did eventually start eating. At the beginning, it was very confusing and terrifying because the nutritionist was not trauma informed. She was not informed about what to do to deal with an eating disorder patient. And so I remember she said, like, literally eat anything. And the floodgates opened, and I was injecting hormones into my body as well at the time that she prescribed to me. And it was just terrifying for me. And I took my health into my own hands. At that point, my mom also forbid, she just stopped me from seeing the nutritionist because it wasn't working. In fact, the hormones jabs that she gave me was to literally like lose more weight, actually. Insane. It's just out of, yeah, crazy. But so I even went through a time when I thought maybe I should go see her again because I want to lose weight, because I was putting on weight and I was so terrified because I had no guidance, I had no support, and I literally had to go seek out like what to do in my life. And that was when I first came across plant-based diet. And I don't even like to call it diet anymore because it is a lifestyle. And that was the first thing that saved me. That was the thing that began to allow me to make peace with food, like allowed me to eat without feeling guilty. But I was still struggling because inside of me, I wasn't really addressing what was really going on. And this is something I always tell my clients, and I always tell you guys here, is that even when you begin to eat properly, like the perfect diet, perhaps, whatever that is for you, you're gonna still feel that shame, you're gonna still feel that guilt, you're gonna still feel that emptiness, whatever it is, because you haven't addressed what's going on inside of you, like truly address it. So I just want to address this here as well, because it isn't about what you eat, it's really about how you're feeling. And that's why I always say, we do a lot of journaling work. Sometimes at the beginning, you would probably just journal about what you eat. And then I just need to tell you that there is so much patience that you need to have for yourself. And I know you'll always ask this question, like, how long does this take? And I really just want to say, I don't know how long it will take for you. But if you have full commitment, I have clients who just see results like instantly or in the third session. And so it isn't about if we move with our spirit instead of just thinking physically with our body, but we move with all the different bodies that we have. And this is something I teach in my program. Our spiritual body, our mental body, our etheric body, and our physical body. We transcend timeline. We don't need to stick to a specific timeline. It just happens. And this is the law of attraction. This is the law of polarity working for us. This is the universe working for us. This is for us to remember that we are made of the same things that made up the universe. So why are we so stuck on being physical? Why are we so stuck on a specific timeline, a specific diet? This is the thing that I want you to really realize, because that will change everything in your life. And that changed mine and many other women's life. So yeah, that's for me. It didn't take me long to heal. probably like a year in after I fully committed to my recovery. But it took me 10 years to decide to heal fully. And I don't want that for you. I want you to do that now. I want you to do it fast. And when you have the right support and the mentorship that you need, that's so possible. Why struggle alone? And I like to say this, like, when you say I can't afford it, I can't afford hiring people, I can't afford anymore working with other people through it. I just want you to know something that my mentor told me is that when you spend that money, and if you look at money as energy and time as energy, you're literally buying time. And you're just paying those money that you can always get back after, and you're buying back your life. And your life is priceless. And I don't understand why you would put a tag on your life and say that you're a bargain basement pricing, or you don't deserve it, or you can't afford it, because you need to. That is also part of the job of us. For this is my mission. I stand for women to stop putting themselves down. I want women to realize that the people they need to invest in is themselves. And getting out of this recovery, like safe and sound and fully, is so imperative, because you're never gonna live in fear again. You're never going to feel like you're guilty because you ate this or you ate that. Oh my gosh, what a relief. Freedom. Freedom. True freedom. Support. Sisterhood. Friends. All of these things that I told myself I didn't deserve for so many years. And it's so possible. Incredibly supportive energies that are working with you. Incredibly supportive people, non-judgmental people who know what you go through. Incredible mentorship and love, because I love you. And I truly want to see you succeed. All of these things are here for you. That got my heart just feeling so achy, because I want that for you so much. I see it. All right, my loves. I am going to sign off here. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or DM me. I have several spots available for a free discovery call. All of you here are eligible to claim it. Absolutely. You just have to drop in and schedule a call with me. And there are spaces in the program opening up as well. Some of them are graduating already to my VIP alumni mentorship, which is insane, because that means they have been with me for 6 months already, and they're working in a more expanded version of themselves. So I want this for you too, and all you have to do is get on a discovery call with me, and we will map out your recovery journey. And there is no pressure to buy if you feel like it's not right for you. I don't do hardcore sales, so you can always say you can just walk away, but you will be fully equipped with some really good advice on how you're going to go forward. Okay, that's my promise to you. So sending you all my love. I hope to speak to you all very soon. Bye.